this chord progression generator called SpaceWalk. Now, it's described as an ambient chord progression generator. So that's where its focus is. That does not mean you can't use it. It's made by the developer Higher Plane. So we're going to click on his. His primary thing is crafting for atmospheric and cinematic production. This is his name, I would imagine, Nick. Okay. He does have a website. I'm not going to go to the website as I don't really know that much about the creator yet. And in fact, I just got the plugin, so I'm trying to experiment with it while I'm showing you. So this is a very much me going through the process type thing. Okay, so let me show you that he just put out a new version, which supposedly makes it a little bit easier. Now, I would like to see, and I'm going to say this, he does tell you up front there's no installer. I would like to see an installer. It just makes it so much easier for people that aren't super computer savvy to be able to use this plugin. But he said it's pretty much simply drag and drop the AU, the VST3 to the appropriate folder. Now, there's a component and a VS3 T3. I did not see the AU in there when I downloaded this. So I'm going to just show you real quick. Unless I missed it, which could be, I'm not used to stuff not installing. So that's why it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes when you have to go through finding something. So here it is. So unless this right here is the AU version, in the instructions it tells you drop the component in the component and the VST3 in the VST3 folder. If you go onto your desktop, you go to users. I'm sorry, not users. Did I do that right? Yeah, users here. I believe it's under music. Wait a minute. I mean, under library. I went the wrong place. Okay, under library on your computer, you go to the audio, and then there's plugins, components, VS3 T or VST3. I don't know why that seems like a tongue teaser. Anyway, so that's what you do, and then this, I'm not sure what this is, like, because every time I click it, it gives you operation can't be opened. In the instructions, if you read, I'm going to go down to the bottom where he put the instructions. Although, and the install instructions should be at the top too, which is kind of something he should change. Needs to be the first thing people want to know when they open it up. Um, right here, copy this component to this. He tells you where it's at, so that's pretty good. And then he says restart your DAW. If it's blocked, you'll have to go into your settings, privacy, general, click allow, and prompt it. So I didn't have that problem personally. I'm on the M1 Mac. Um, so anyway, we're gonna get to the plugin now. It's VST3 and Ableton. Looks like Logic is the only one that has the AU. So it is what it is. I'm not using Logic to use that personally. But anyway, so there it is. So that's what you do. And so in Ableton, it's going to be a VS3, VST3. I'm going to put it in my favorites. I like to do that because I do not want to go back and search for Higher Plane software in here just to find out that's where the plugin is. So that makes it a little bit easier. And it's not going to be in my AUs. I know that now. So I'm going to go to my favorites. And there it is at the bottom, Spacewalk. If you take Spacewalk and this is in Ableton, of course it's going to vary a little bit, and you just drop it in, it will automatically put it on a MIDI channel for you, okay? And it labels it Spacewalk, so you don't have to do a bunch of extra stuff. I know in one of his videos he shows labeling something. I don't know why, but you don't need that. And if you look at Scalar the way I have up here, these are all VST Harmony Bloom. If you just set it to in here, it makes it so much easier because now any track that you want, so let's say I don't want this to be on scale, I want it to be on SpaceWalk. If I click SpaceWalk there, now whatever data is going on up here is going to record into this channel. So I'm going to add in, let's go get Omnisphere. Why not? And we'll put Omnisphere in. And then I'm going to go pick some Tom Wolfe because he makes cinematic stuff. So we'll go with sleep, pads and strings. On ice, I like that. I'm going to lower it just a little bit because it gets pretty loud. All right, cool. So now whenever you run this, whatever you put up here is going to play on SpaceWalk, it's going to play through here. So in SpaceWalk, you can set now he says in there that he's not a musician. So he has made this so that you don't have to know how to play musical notes at all. In fact, the whole purpose of it is to create for you. So you're just picking a scale. And if you don't know scales, no big deal because he said he didn't. I don't think he does either. But either way, let's pick a scale. And then you can pick the way you want it to sound. And he's based these scales on the way he feels it sounds. So that's pretty good. It's giving a person who doesn't understand scales, like, what does this scale evoke mood wise? And Scalar 3 does that too, by the way, just in case you're wondering. It'll give you like how that scale sounds. So let's go with Phrygian. Now you can create a custom scale too if you want, or choose a character if you want to do that. I'm just gonna go Dorian Bloom, and it'll pick and create you a pattern. Loop should be on, he said, and then you can also apparently drag MIDI into here, so that's pretty cool. Save the MIDI, have variation or a new pattern. So he put these notes. If you see my mouse is resting on that particular tab, it says generate a completely new chord progression with current settings. But you also, if I'm not mistaken, and so so let's just go a new pattern. All right. So cool. It just creates a new pattern. You can set the bar length. So let's say I want my bar length to be 98. And I don't know if this looks like it's setting how many bars per for the chord. So it's only going to ring for 4 bars maximum. You can go less or more. Interesting. So let's see, does this randomize? Nope. So then variation, it looks like it's a variation of the actual chord itself. I'm going to show 32 in mine just because I want to see more information. So you can create a new pattern and then have variation of the pattern. So this says it keeps the same progression, but subtly adjusts the richness, the flow, the smoothness for a different flavor. So that's cool. And then that's the about. Then you have how natural it'll sound. Surprise. Yeah, like a little surprise. Increase the flow, adjust how much richness is there, the smoothness of it. I want it to be a little more natural. Create a new pattern, vary it a little bit. That's cool. All right. So let's just see what it does. If the sync is on, shouldn't the sync be on? Maybe not. Okay. Let's just press play. Let me turn my keyboard on because that might help. And we're on SpaceWalk, but it's filtered in or feeding in the MIDI to this channel. So it should play through here. There we go. And I'm going to set this out for 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to lower the tempo. Switch the preset. I'm going to lower it a little bit more, volume wise. And if you look here, 49, it's not playing, showing you which notes it is here, but this might be the chord, I don't know. There you go. So SpaceWalk. So one thing I notice is that when you make adjustments on anything, just about, it changes the timing of it a little bit, throws it off a little bit. So, but that's okay, because usually you're gonna set this and leave it. Maximum you can see is 32 bars at a time. But you can see I have it set for 98. Wow. Okay. So far, so I like it. I mean, and you can get pretty much a soundscape going across the background, which you can build over. So let's talk about that, because I don't want you to think that this is just only ambient or cinematic. You can use this for other stuff. Okay, so let's say you do want a soundscape going across the back, but then you want some drums. So let's go grab some drums. Now I'm not gonna drum for you. I'm gonna pick some funk drums. These are a little aggressive for what I want. Let's go with modern soul again. This does not fit what I'm trying to create, but we're gonna use it anyway. We don't even need to pull it in as a MIDI. We're just gonna press play with it and let it run. So. So let's say that's going right there. Switch the bass out. I want to use a fretless bass. not. So you can see just putting the drums and then throwing some like a funky bass line over it or something can easily get you there. By the way, I did not lock the scale. I do think he should I do think he should make either a version for Ableton or make this be able to scale lock to whatever is locked in here. But that's neither here or there. That's not a big deal. It's not a game changer or nothing. So you can set it for Dorian. So at least now you know that you're playing in Dorian. And I haven't even recorded anything. Now I could take and press record and have or pull the drums to the track, press record, and let the bass and the keys come across the top. Now you'll notice because I have this one recording at the same time in Ableton, you're going to record to both of these. So that's not a go for me. I would have to, and you can, I think I saw him put this on the track in his video. That's not my usual workflow. Um, but you could, let me just try this real quick. I think you can put the plugin on the track. So let's go to favorites again. It'll be easier to find it. It's right there. Let's see if we can add it. Okay, looks like we added it to a track. But does it replace the instrument? See, it replaced the instrument, and that's the only problem when you use a VST3 or a VST in general, is it doesn't, unless he makes it specific for that, you're going to have a problem. So let's go back and just undo replace. Let's go back. Okay, yeah, it kept the sample. Good. So definitely want to use it up here. And by the way, if you don't want to sit there and wait for this whole 98 to go through and record, you don't have to. Technically, you could just drop that if you like what you hear. So let's go SpaceWalk. He made this feature so that you could do this. There you go. Super fast. Now you have the 98 bars of it. That's 5 minutes. That's perfect. You don't even need this to go in anymore. You just use that to sound off that. Now you can start recording your bass with the drums. So now you got a funky ambient jazz track going on. So yeah, you can definitely use this for creating some unique things, and it doesn't have to even be ambient sound. You could put this on some other synth that you prefer. It doesn't have to be Omnisphere, obviously. Put it on any synth you want. It's going to create these chords that overlap. You see it's overlapping. So because it's overlapping like that and triggering, it's going to be very spacious and ambient, I think, and cinematic. So you can make cinematic hip hop. In fact, it sounds really good if you do. By the way, I'd like to hear it if you make that kind of music. Um, and then you can create from there. So this is a solid plugin. I mean, for $20 or less, and he's going to give you updates because it's obviously something he's passionate about. Even at where it's at right now, that's a solid grab in my opinion for what it's worth. So take a listen and take a look at it. Again, it's 15 euro, or that's about $19.84. It's on Gumroad, and I think you support a dev, which is kind of cool. He's not a big company, and so that's nice that you get to support him. So hopefully he sees this video, and yeah, and hopefully it benefits him too at the same time, because I think it's a solid uh, device, SpaceWalk. All right, I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.